Can you hear me? Please be frank. If nothing is going in its proper way, tell me before it gets ridiculous. Otherwise, I could connect another video, because it's quite hard for me to just do with two hands like an octopus, a lot of things. My name is Fabio, and I'm the founder of Tooteko. We started with a dream that was to bring visual art to blind people. So we started with 3D printing, and we started printing just 3D replicas, exact replicas. Maybe you can see it here, in high detail. In this case, you have a church in Venice that was 3D scanned and then printed exactly as is. So it's not perfectly regular, because it's just the way it is. That's the hard part. A blind people can reach more or less this, thank you, can reach more or less this spot here. You don't know what's about on the upper side. So we wanted to get a smaller side and to allow blind people to know what they are in front of. And then we had another issue, was to put Braille everywhere, 3D printing Braille. And so we wanted to combine audio data and tactile data, because blind people, they do perceive the world with hands and hearing, but not with the eyes, but they could combine the other two senses. So the idea was to put some sensors, we call it, and they are called, not we call it, NFC tags. I guess you know what's about. They are near field communication. And we developed this kind of bulky ring that you see is quite big, and I'm not married to an extraterrestrial. My wife looks perfectly terrestrial. But if I touch this spot,
is a Roman Catholic church in Venice, northern Italy, located on the San Michele Island, which also hosts city's cemetery.
So whenever you touch a spot, you can hear the audio description of the spot that you are touching in that specific moment. In the same time, you can also see things, so it's not only for blind people. So if I can just tell you in 1 second, the interesting thing of this idea is that you have a perfect combination of touch and hearing that for us may seem like a plus, but for blind people it's really, really, really useful to be independent and to know better the world that is around him. So we are now in the prototyping phase. This prototype, as you see, is working. Now we are manufacturing another one that is smaller and more powerful, and that's more or less all about this idea. Thank you. Do you have any question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. How do you do this? How do you do this? Seriously, how did you convert the touch? Is there any unique touch surface, whatever, that gets you the information? Could I just print out something 3D, will enter the data, and will give me a nice screenshot from it?
Yes, we'll show you here. This is an NFC sensor that is really cheap, costs more or less 5 cents of a dollar, and it has a small memory, no batteries, and is sleeping right now. But if I approach some energy here, as you see, beep, means that he woke up. He revealed his contents to this finger. This, to this ring. This ring has Bluetooth low energy chip inside. So decodes the NFC and send the the unique ID of this sensor through Bluetooth to the audio guides receiver or your own smartphone. We are actually in partnership with the largest worldwide audio guides provider to just directly go into the existent audio guides. Through the Bluetooth low energy that is almost universal.
So there's one NFC chip in the model that you had, and you would get the distance where the finger touches. So because you showed a nice picture from an area which you touched, it was not the object as a whole, but you would get the distance to the actual chip from the touching point.
More or less, you have 2 centimeters and half. That is the spot that the NFC can reach, more or less. So it's sharp.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. So are you dependent on additional hardware as the ring, for example?
Yes, you do. And it's a nice thing because you already own the hardware. That is your own smartphone.
So no additional?
You have your own smartphone. Yes, that one is working great. You just switch the Bluetooth on and you download an app. This one just sends ID, and then you grab from the internet in your own language the audio content.
Thank you.
What do you see as the advantage of your product over something like iBeacons or beacons?
Well, beacons are, as you know, working on a large scale. So they are telling you where you are more or less in this room, this side or this side. This technology tells you where your finger is with the precision of 2 centimeters and half. iBeacon is not doing it.
One more question.
Here's one.
If I got your presentation correctly, you have multiple of those passive elements on your 3D object. Is that correct?
You have one NFC sensor for each content that you want to tell.
Okay, then my question is, how dense can you locate these special objects so that your technology still distinguishes between 2 of them?
2 centimeters and half is more or less the spot, so consider 3 centimeters and you're safe.
Okay, thanks.